Hαίrε, and welcome. Today we are in the second chapter of John, taking a look at verse 11, just about to finish this paragraph. This is our rubric, everything we're looking for as we go through this text. Let's go ahead and get started. Tautein epoiesen archein ton semeon ho Jesus en Kana tes Galileas, kai ephanerosen tein doxan autu, kai episteu san eis auton ho mathatai autu. And that's as far as we're going to make it today. Our very first word is a demonstrative, so immediately we ignore it and move on to the verb, which we find right here with epoiesen. Now this one is pretty easy to figure out. We've got epsilon nu as our personal ending. We've got the eta and the sigma right there, telling us that this is most certainly not present. Instead, it is a regular verb, and it has to either be future or aorist tense. Since we've got this augmenting epsilon right here at the beginning of the verb, we know that it has to only be aorist. So third, singular, aorist, active, and indicative. Very easy and straightforward. Now we want to make sure that we have whether or not there is a subject in there. So we take a look at head. This is the wrong case. Also the wrong case. Ho Jesus. From ho, he, to. So this is definitely going to be nominative singular masculine. And here we have Jesus, which we parsed too many times before to bother again. So this is clearly our subject. The Jesus did or made. And now, since we have this transitive verb, we want to find a direct object for it to act upon. Tautein and arche, they both appear to have the same ending, and that ending is accusative, so that fits perfectly as a direct object. Eta there and eta there tell us that these two should go together, especially since this is feminine. If it had a different idea behind it, instead of introducing something or pointing to something that happened beforehand, we would normally expect neuter. But nope, this is pointing to arche, so that's going to be accusative, singular, feminine. I keep forgetting I don't need to write the C's. Those two go together. This. And then arche normally means beginning. However, I believe most Bible translations will treat this as the word first. I'm going to add that in there. But I don't think we should really translate arche as first. That's my thought on it. I'm definitely not a major authority in such matters, so you should go with people who actually do have the authority for these things. I'm going to side with beginning, though, in my translation. Moving forward, ton semeon, we've got omega nu in both of these, so they are going to be genitive plural, and the semeon is neuter. No, not singular. Oops. Not that we could tell its gender from the article. Only thing that we really can tell about semeon looking at it is since the acute is on the penult, and not on the omega on the ultima here, it can't be feminine. That's about all we can tell. All right, I don't need the new either. Oh well. Of the signs. There we go. The Jesus did or made this beginning of the signs. En Kana, en is a preposition. And we take a look at Kana, and it doesn't decline, so we can't tell exactly what case it is. We can only really determine based on context. It's not going to be doing into, so it's not going to be motion towards, so en can't have the meaning it would have if it were taking accusative. I don't actually think en does take accusative, but anyway, it's just going to be place where. Wrong case to be part of the prepositional phrase, so we close it off right there. Undeclinable. Tes Galileas. Tes is clearly genitive singular from ho, he, to. Galileas with the alpha sigma right there matches this, so this is going to be possessive of the Gal, I, Li. And that, I think, ends that clause officially because of our chi right here. So that means and. So we're going to find our verb, which we have right there, nice and up front for us. Got another epsilon nu right there as our ending. Got an augmenting vowel right there, so we know it's going to be a past tense rather than future or present. We've got omega sigma right there. The sigma makes sense for it to be an aorist or a future. Why the omega though? Because this is a contract verb. What we've actually got going on is we've got an omicron in there, and it's just smooshing together with the normal mix-up right there, and I don't remember what that is. But it's something you can look up in most texts. They'll have a page of all the contractions that appear. If you look at a omicron contraction verb, and then at this tense, which is going to be aorist tense, then you can see what the proper vowel would be before the sigma that smooshes together with the omicron and gives us this omega. Active and indicative. This means revealed or showed. Taking a look ahead, we don't have a subject right here, so it's going to be Jesus again. He revealed. So we want a direct object again, which we have in tein doxon. Eta nu and alpha nu there are accusative singular. And clearly feminine. The glory. Autu, this is another word that we've seen many times before, so I'm not going to bother parsing it. It's genitive, meaning his. Oop, capitalized. Moving on. Kai, another coordinating conjunction. New clause. Episteusan. Augmenting vowel right there, so we know it's got to be a past tense. Sigma right there, so it fits in either the stem of the future or the aorist. Augment tells us it has to be aorist. Alpha nu as our ending, so that's going to be third person plural. Active still. And indicative. Taking a look for our subjects. Aha, hoi mathetai. Hoi from hohe to, nominative plural. I is the nominative plural form of this first declension masculine noun. So there's our subject. The disciples, autu, of him, his. Keep forgetting to capitalize. And then ace auton, we'll come to that in a moment, but that's clearly a prepositional phrase. Believed. And his disciples believed, and his disciples believed. Ace auton. Ace here is clearly taking accusative as its object with that omicron nu right there. Singular, masculine. And this would just mean in him. I think, capitalizing. This is how this verb works. We would expect it to take like a dative or something like that, or maybe just a plain old direct object. I think credo in Latin takes a dative. The Latin passage, when we go over this, we'll actually see, because I think the equivalent word that appears there is credo, and if it's a dative, then I'll be right. If it's not dative, then, well, oh well. Anyway, so this one appears to take a prepositional phrase into. It's believing is a directional thing, perhaps even showing motion. Anyway, it's pretty interesting right there. Looks like we are done with this passage. So let's go ahead and take a look at it in its own context for the greater context of this entire paragraph. The Jesus did this beginning of the signs in Cana of the Galilee, and he revealed or showed the glory. You can leave the article out. And the disciples, his disciples, believed into him. So there's that. Now all the way from verse 1. It's going to take a bit. And on the third day, wedding happened in Cana of Galilee. And the mother of the Jesus was there. And Jesus also was invited, and his disciples, into the wedding. And since wine gave out, the mother of Jesus says to him, "They do not have wine." And he says to her, the Jesus, "What to me and to you, woman? My hour is not yet come." The hour of me has not yet come. It's been actually a while since I've read through all these. So, his mother says to the helpers or servants, "Whatever he says to you all, do." But there were 6 stone water jars standing to the purification of the Jews, holding each 2 or 3 measures. Jesus says to them, "Fill the water jars with water," and they filled them up to the brim. And he says to them, "Draw now and carry to the toastmaster." And they carried. But just as the master of the feast tasted the water, having become wine, and he did not know from where it is, but the servants knew those having drawn out the water. Master of the feast calls the groom, and he says to him, "Every man sets first the good wine, and when they are inebriated, the inferior. You have kept the good wine until now." The Jesus did this beginning of the signs in Cana of Galilee, and he revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. There we go. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope taking a look at this text has been helpful for you, and I hope you have a good day. Still don't know the word for goodbye. Hey, not asleep yet? That's okay. I've got tons of other equally sleep-inducing videos for you to watch. Check them out.